Hey, all right. This is Pro Power Hour. My name's Chris Weldon. I'm one of the community managers with Housecall Pro. And this is a new series we've been doing. It's going to be our fifth session. And Pro Power Hour, we launched it about a month ago, really to just bring you guys some more resources when it comes to the various features that we have at Housecall Pro. This comes directly from your feedback. A lot of pros have posted in the Facebook group over the last really year. Just looking for more resources on top of our help center. And we do cover product during some of our other live events, but this one is dedicated to something different every single week. So far, we've talked about VoIP, we've talked about multi-option approvals, multi-day scheduling, service plans, and a couple other job costing, a couple other things. And today we're going to be talking about reporting. You might have seen my post earlier this week that got a lot of attention, and I'm glad to hear it. And then I just promoted this a little while ago. If you're catching this now or later, the comments are open, so drop your questions, drop any of your concerns. We'll be monitoring this afterward. I know a lot of you guys see this later. But before we get started, I want to give Jennifer and James each a moment to introduce themselves, and then we can get into it. Jennifer, you want to start?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. I'm Jennifer. I have been an onboarding specialist here at Housecall Pro over the last 2+ years. Super excited to do a deep dive of reporting with you guys. Really stoked to join this session. Some of you guys might already know me and have worked with me, and if so, drop a comment. Would love to connect again. I'll pass it to James.
Thanks, Jennifer. I'm James. I'm on the product team here at Housecall Pro, working on a few different features, including reporting. And it's good to be back, and I'll be here. And then I think I'll even be back later, not for another power hour, but over in the Super Pros group for another Quick Tip Tuesday in office hours. So thanks for having me here, Chris. Looking
Yes.
forward to diving in.
Yeah, super grateful for you being here. This is our first power hour with a product manager too. So happy to have you. And this is Jennifer's first power hour. We have different onboarding specialists joining us every week. So you might recognize them. Maybe they helped you with your accounts when you got started. But Jennifer, if you want to get into the slide deck, we can get started.
Most definitely. Let me just get this all pulled up here. All right. Okay. And Chris, you let me know. You can see my screen okay?
I can.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. So like Chris said, we are going to do a deep dive on reporting, kind of refresh about the why, the what, and how to navigate it. So what we are going to talk about today is the benefits of reporting, dive into some of those homepage reports that you see right when you log into your account, transfer into talking about our actual reporting dashboard, so where the majority of our reports are held, how to navigate that and create your own reports, save custom ones, navigate the pre-existing ones, how to then share those with your team members, and then we will do some live demos for you, show you a couple like basic reports and some reports that we think might be helpful based on some of those questions that you guys answered on Chris's post, plus some things we've just seen in the group. We'll also open it up for any questions that have come through on the chat or anything that you guys want to pop in and ask. So to start, benefits of reporting. I think we all know that knowing our numbers is super important when running a business, but what else? So we have some key points here, maintaining that data integrity. So reporting can ensure that our data is remaining accurate and reliable by generating reports on various metrics, not just measuring one thing all the time. We can identify some discrepancies or errors in data entry. We are human, our technicians are human, our office staff is human. If we're keeping on top of our reports, we can start catching some of these errors or patterns that we're identifying before they tumble into a bigger problem. Tracking our progress and performance. So giving you insight into the performance of our business goals. Maybe we're experimenting marketing to a certain demographic. By regularly monitoring those KPIs through our reporting, we can assess the effectiveness of our business initiatives. So making those data back decisions and enabling yourself to identify areas for improvements. With my marketing example, maybe we want to pull a revenue report on what zip codes are bringing us in the most money. That can really alter the way that we market ourselves and track the effectiveness of an existing marketing campaign. Tying into that, facilitating that decision making. So by again accessing that data and analyzing it using like our visualization tools and then just digging into the numbers themselves, we can make those strategic decisions with confidence. We can forecast future sales trends. We can identify our high value customers or VIP customers who's spending the most money with us. We might talk to them differently than a customer who hasn't done that much business with us. But reporting capabilities will empower us to make those informed decisions. And then just compliance and accountability within your own team. Generating necessary reports to demonstrate, how well is my team performing with what I've asked for them. We can generate callback reports, estimate conversion reports, on-the-job sales reports, time tracking, all things to make sure that things are running the way we expect them to when we're not specifically watching it. So those are the benefits. Jumping into our homepage report. So first thing, when you log into your account and it brings you to the homepage, you will see these lovely reports right at the top. These are a variety of just day-to-day, I call them like quick glance, quick view reports that we can pull info directly from that homepage. So 4 main reports we have on here: open estimates. If we click that open, we will be able to see a full list of all open estimates that have not been approved or declined. Be able to filter that list, customize the metrics that we're measuring, and also create estimates and bulk add lead sources to our estimates directly from that report too. Open invoices, we will just be able to manage all of our open invoices. So any invoice that has a balance due, when we open that report, it will group them based on if they're due, past due, or unsent. You'll also have a column that just has all of them grouped into one. Here we can individually send our invoices, bulk send invoices and bulk delete invoices as needed. Unscheduled jobs. That is going to take you to what it says, unscheduled jobs. So any jobs that we do not have on the schedule already, opening that will also allow you to filter and edit the columns that you want to measure. And a quick call out there is this information is also accessible directly within your scheduling tab. So if you find it easier to look at your schedule while scheduling out these unscheduled jobs, you can do it directly from there too. Then finally, any unscheduled service visits. So our system pings any visits that are upcoming in the next month. So this will show and highlight any of those. By clicking into that, it's going to take you directly into your service plan dashboard, where you can manage not only those visits, but payments in the plans themselves. And then the quick call out here is if there's any of this information that is not pertinent to your day-to-day and you do not want to see it when you open it up, you can click these 3 dots and deselect any of these reports to remove them off your homepage. So giving you a little control over that at a glance. Just to continue the homepage reports, you might have seen on the side there was also links for all estimates, invoices, jobs, and service plans. So by clicking those, it's going to do what it says. It's going to take you to a full list of all of these items, regardless of their status. All of these lists can be filtered, they can be exported. The estimates in the jobs list specifically have a ton of different metrics we can measure as well. I won't go into every single one of these, but I would definitely encourage you to check it out in your own accounts and see, hey, like what are we wanting to measure each day? Let's prioritize that and add it onto these. You're able to, I believe you'll be able to preserve these settings. If not, it's very easy to open these up and quick click to see what you need to do.
Anything you select there will be saved the next time you come back, or if you deselected, same thing. So you don't have to keep checking them every single time.
That is what we love to hear. Thank you, James. Always nice having the true product expert here with us. Awesome. And then this is just going to be a view of what those job and estimate reports will look like if we click in. So You might recognize it from entering in your customer list. It's really that jobs and estimates on that left-hand side when you open that up. So like we said, you're able to filter these. Edit columns opens you back up to that last page that we were just looking at. And then here you're able to export that list if you need to do whatever you need to with that. So that's going to move us from our homepage reporting into our main reporting center. So what I tell every pro that I work with is the homepage reporting and all that is great for your at a glance, but when we really want to dig into our numbers, you're going to want to come into the reporting center. There are so many reports in here that are pre-built for you from our product team and a lot of customization that can happen in here. So navigating the reporting dashboard, on your left-hand panel, when you open the reporting tab up, you will see dashboards listed here. We pre-populate you with 3 main dashboards, and I'll go into each one of those, but what a dashboard is it's really a way for you to group all similar reports into one area so you can alter like the global date range or how these reports are grouped all at once without having to individually jump into each report. So that's the main benefit of the dashboards. The 3 that we pre-populate with are going to be based on your industry. So industry specific, that's going to be job revenue, job counts, average job sizes. Tech performance is going to be estimate conversions, on the job sales, time tracking. And administrative is going to have a lot of similarities to those homepage reports. So any balance due on completed jobs, unscheduled jobs, open estimates, things like that. You do have the ability to create your own dashboard. If you select that, we'll show you a list of like pre-populated templates we have, but you also have the ability to do fully custom. So you can have, you know, Barbara in the office who only cares about these 3 reports. She can create a dashboard for Barbara's stuff, and that's all she needs to look at without mucking up her computer. In addition to that, underneath the dashboards, you will see a list of all of our reports that we have pre-built for you, and they are sectioned into their pertinent groups. So we have jobs reports, estimates reports, payment reports, and then depending on your plan type, you might also see leads reports, service plans, and also even voice call reports as well. This slide is really just showing you kind of a highlight of what, when we open up those jobs reports, what we have available pre-made for you. Whenever you are thinking, man, I wish I had access to a report like this, I always encourage you to come check out what we have pre-made first. If one of these doesn't fit exactly what you need, we can probably customize it and alter it to make it work for what you're looking for. But these are a great place to start for some of those custom ones. And this is just going to show you some of the different ones we have available for estimates and leads. So estimates and leads are going to follow pretty much just like conversion practices and how many opens there are, and service plans will track like when are we selling them, what our recurring revenue is, who's selling these. So lots of information we can gather. And then our custom reporting. So at the very bottom of the all reports, we do have that custom tab. So anytime you alter, edit, create a new report and save it, we're going to save it in this custom area so you don't have to do that all over again next time you need that report. So this custom reporting section will have all of any reports that you've saved. In addition to that, it'll also allow you to create fully custom reports. So like I said a couple slides ago, those base level reports are great to like start out on, but you can also do like fully custom, not even start with one of our pre-mades. So to do that, you'll come into your custom, hit this create a report. It'll ask you what type of report you want, jobs, estimates, leads, service plans. You will select which report it was. In this case, it looks like we chose estimates. At that point, you can use the filter button to drill down some of the things that we want to do. Maybe we're looking to see every failed estimate conversion of a specific employee or something. We can filter by that employee and then filter by that decline status. Good opportunity for some retraining for our employee on sales practices if we're noticing that they have a high decline rate. So pretty straightforward there. And you will, once you've drilled down with your filters, edited any columns, you will save this report. It will allow you to then name it. It will also ask you if you want to add it to any dashboards. So if you want quick, easy access to that, you can do so. Otherwise, if we don't add it to a dashboard, it will just live in that custom area that we were just looking at. Finally, for slideshow purposes, scheduling and sharing these reports with our team members. This is a really cool feature that the reporting squad released recently, the ability to directly send these to our teammates. So the sharing is super straightforward. When we click share, it will populate a list of employees in our on our team that have reporting access. We will not offer the ability to accidentally send it to like a technician who might not have reporting access. So it'll only show like office staff and up. Sharing straightforward, it'll immediately send it to whoever you select. Scheduling, you will be able to set a cadence on when you want this report to go out. So maybe every Friday before I leave the office, I want to make sure that all of our jobs are closed out and all of our invoices have been paid for the week. So maybe I want to generate a report that shows me all my in-progress jobs for the week or my unpaid invoices, have it send to me before I leave for the day every Friday. We can set that up. We can also set it to share to multiple people as well. So now we are going to jump into our demo portion. I know I've been on just a lot of like yapping about reporting. You probably want to see what it looks like. I want to leave some space if there's been any questions in the chat at all, Chris or anyone.
I'm checking right now. I do see we have like 6 to 7 people that are with us live. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. But we might be okay to switch gears.
Awesome. I am going to briefly unshare just so I can get on the right screen. One thing I like to think I'm pretty good at navigating Housecall, but everything else kind of up in there. All right, y'all. So what I am going to be showing you guys a demo of is building a simple accounts receivable report. And then, like I said, after that, I will be passing it on to James to do some more specific reporting. But with this demo, we'll get a chance to kind of look around at some of the other things that we chatted about too. So first and foremost, I do want to highlight those homepage reports. So they're all right here for you. Hopefully you guys have more green than I do. But like we said, you can click into any of these to take you to that list. There's those 3 dots to change up some things. Maybe I don't offer service plans. I don't need to see it. So that's where you'll find that info. And then to access your main reporting center is going to be that reporting tab at the very top. That will take you into one of your dashboards, most likely. So you can see I've got quite a few dashboards here, but these are those 3 main ones that you guys were preloaded with. Like we said, you do have the ability to create your own. How you would do that is by clicking these 3 dots over here. You also have the ability to duplicate a dashboard too, if you need to do that for whatever reason, but just to show you kind of the stuff we got when we create our own. Here are some of those templates that I mentioned that you can pick from in addition to that fully custom one that we discussed. All reports, I'm going to start building the accounts receivable report from here using one of our base reports. And also you can see this is what that list of all reports will look for based on whatever we're looking at. We'll come back to the payments. It's a little different than some of the other reports, but I'll come back to that. So to start with an accounts receivable, decide whether you want this broken down by week or by month. I'm just going to do it for month right now. Next step that we want to do is we want to make sure that we're looking at jobs for completed, because we want to make sure that the jobs that we are actually finished with are pulling in versus you have a couple other options. Do you want jobs to be pulled in at their created date or their scheduled date? For something like accounts receivable or tracking like revenue that we're already getting, we'll want to make sure that it's completed. From year to date, that is just gonna be your date range. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at year to date for right now, but just know that you have all these other date ranges that you can choose from, including a custom range. Grouped by month, so we chose to pick a monthly report, so it pre-grouped it by month for us, but just so you know, you can also change that out, group it. You can always be like, actually, I want to do it by week instead, no problem. We can also group it by all these other metrics as well. And that will just alter what we're seeing down here. So if you can see, and also in this graph right here, it's showing me each by individual month. If I want to drill down more, if I change this, like let's say to week, just so you guys can see what it looks like. That will change the breakdown on not only the graph, but down here to break it down as I indicated it to do. Switch it back into month though, just because it's a little easier on my eyes right now. The next thing that we'll want to do is we would want to adjust some of the columns down here to match more what we want to know for an accounts receivable report. So to alter that, we're going to hit the edit columns over here, and you're going to see this box of metrics. So what we're going to want to add on for that is a job total. We can add a paid amount. We will get rid of the revenue. I'm sorry, we actually will not. No, we are going to get rid of that revenue and the job size. So sorry, kind of jumping around here, you guys. Sorry about that. I'm also following a little PowerPoint. So average job size, job total, and paid amount is what we're going to be tracking for this report. When we adjust that, you'll see that the columns down here change to match those metrics that I wanted to display here. And once we're in this, now we can clearly see, the total amount, I'm sorry, the total amount that we should be collecting plus the total amount that is paid. And I'm so sorry, you guys, I got myself a little discombobulated. I did want job count and not average job size. So then we can also see the total number of jobs that we were to do in that month. So we can make sure that we're matching these numbers. Like I am rocking it on my accounts receivable right now because my job totals and my paid amounts are matching up. But you can notice in May, maybe I wasn't so good at receiving things. So point being is that we can customize these and start to drill in so we can identify things before they become an issue. So that's my quick accounts receivable. Apologies for my little metric confusion there, but I will pass it back on to James so he can show you some more reports, and really appreciate you guys having me on. If you have any questions, I'll be in the chat and I'm happy to answer anything. So take it away, James.
Amazing. Jennifer, that was a great presentation, great demo. So I don't think there were any questions live here, but there were plenty that we've had through Facebook. So I'll touch on a few now. And then, like I said, we'll be back out in the community and you're going to be getting lots more reporting training to try and address all of the questions. But we picked some of the top ones to look at here today. So with that, where I'm going to start is a question that came up a few times, both recently in the Facebook post, but also that I talk to pros about a lot, which is like, I create estimates and there's multiple options on them. Is that making my conversion rate, is that diluting my conversion rate? Meaning if I create an estimate with 3 options, does that count as 3 estimates? And the answer is no. In Housecall Pro, you come over here, so I'm on reporting, I'm on my estimates tab, I'm just going to choose estimates conversion by month. no matter how many options you have on an estimate, we count that single estimate as one thing. So for example, if I look here, I'm in my estimates report, I'm seeing a 70% conversion rate. I have 7 won estimates, 2 lost, and 1 open. So that's 10 estimates. I won 7 of them. That's how we're getting the 70%. And within some of the estimates that I won, I'm going to click on that row so I can see them, because I'm like, hey, I'm creating estimates with multiple options sometimes, and I want to make sure that they're only counted by themselves. So when I drill down in here, you can see this estimate 145, it had 2 different options on it, and it's just marked 1, and it's just counted as a single row and a singular option. So regardless of whether it's open, won, or lost, your conversion rate isn't impacted by having multiple options. The other thing to note is we'll count the estimate as 1 just after you approve a single one of those options. So if you have an estimate of 3 options, as long as one of them is marked approved, that conversion rate for that estimate is 100%. It's not 33%, and we are using multiple options. So that's one that comes up quite a lot. And so just wanted to share you here. And I think the other one that I wanted to touch on, unless Chris check me here, if there's any new questions that came in, I'm covering the ones that came in over the past few days.
Yeah, no new questions. I did just drop a comment though. Y'all, if you have any questions, we'll go over a couple more and I'll monitor. And then of course, if you have later, we'll be watching the thread. So
that's a question that comes up pretty often. Another question that comes up a lot is, how are we distributing, excuse me, revenue on our tech leaderboard? The answer to this one is, if more than one employee is on the job, we're crediting both of those employees for the full amount of job revenue. So if you look at your tech leaderboard and you're sending multiple employees to the job, you are going to see the revenue counted for each employee. So then the question might come up, well, if I'm wanting to track technician sales on the job, how should I do it? Because in this case, we're counting the full revenue. Or maybe I'm sending out a lead tech and a helper to the job, and I want to give it all to the lead tech. The way that you can do that is through our on-job sales tracking. So when you're creating jobs, I'm just going to show you the jobs page here. Sorry, I got something like a frog in my throat here. I can't talk. When you've created a job, you can track the revenue for technicians at a line item level here. So let's say I dispatch this to 2 pros, 2 techs on my team, Jane and Tim. I save the job. Just give it a second here. Let's say then they go out, sell some work, a pretty big repair, $3,000, but I only want to credit one of those employees on the sale. In my sold by column here, I can say, okay, Tim's the lead tech. Let's give Tim credit, save it. I'm going to go ahead and complete that job and hit finish. And now we're only going to give Tim that sales credit and not give it to Jane. So then when I come back over here into reporting, I'll go over to my jobs tab and use my on-job sales by employee. And in this case, I think we're seeing, if I just do completed today, then we'll just pare it down to that single job that I just created as an example. You'll see the $3,000 in sales credited to Tim, and you're not seeing that number duplicated over to Jane. So that's one feature that can be really useful. If you're sending multiple texts out to the job, you can track what they've sold on the job using the sold by feature, so you're not duplicating revenue. And in addition to that, if you click in, you can drill down, and we're going to show you the line items that are attached to each one of those sales. So in this case, this was the line item that I just added. It shows me the customer, who sold it, and how much was actually sold there. So those were some of the main questions that we've got that come up pretty often. Has anything else come up in the chat?
yeah, it looks like Bob was just following along with you. He said he's struggling with getting accurate tech rev reports for that very reason. And then he asked, can you give 50-50? Or say 25, 25.
You can't give.
25. Sorry.
Yeah. So you can't get 50-50 today or any kind of custom splits. The way it works today is you can use a sold by, so you can allocate the line items to each tech, or we can give you that view of all of the revenue that the techs had on the job. But as we look to enhance that and add kind of like lead tech functionality and able to split, I think there's a future where we'll have that. But today it is kind of like an all or nothing. You can either use a sold by and be allocating that revenue to the tech, or count all of the revenue for them.
So, y'all, I'll give you another minute or two if there's any other questions.
I'll do one more, Chris, while we're here, which is by default, our reports are typically kind of past looking, which is, hey, show me all the jobs that are completed year to date by month. But what if you wanted to look and say, what's on my schedule over the next 30 days? Like, how many jobs are booked over the next 30 days? So if we take my account as an example here, I'm just going to book a job so we have some data. You can also use reporting to see how much is on your schedule. And I think it's kind of a nice view, and we should do some work. We'll add some more default reports for this. But in this case, let's say you're trying to answer the question of like, just how many booked jobs do I have on my calendar over the next 30 days? You can pop into any of your reports and say, well, let's look at any of my jobs that are scheduled from, and I'm going to go into a custom range in the next 30 days and hit save. I'm going to take off this completed filter. And then we could look at it by day, like show me every single day over the next 30 days, how many jobs I've booked, how much revenue is on my calendar, how many jobs are booked, and what's the average job size, or we could put any metrics. You'll see I don't have a great company. Obviously, I have that one job booked on my calendar for the $5,000. But this can be a powerful view to say, hey, what's coming up in the next 30 days? And the other thing you could do is you could say, show me what's on the schedule in the next 30 days by, say, employee. And so in this case, I think we're just going to see one employee, which is me by default on the jobs. I'd say, oh, James only has one job in the next 30 days. Can we think about allocating the schedule? So there's lots of flexibility there if you want to not only be looking in the past and reporting on what happened, but see what's upcoming on your calendar. So I thought I'd just leave it with that in case people have other questions before we wrap.
Awesome. Looks like Brandon just dropped a question. Is it possible to get a recording of the presentation? Of course, this is going to live here on Facebook. It will process for like 5 minutes, and then once it's processed after we end the live, you'll be able to come back and watch. I don't see any other questions, but I did want to just reiterate, if you're catching the recording later, if you're watching this later on, drop your questions anyways. Lauren, myself, will be watching the thread. We'll get any questions over to James or Jennifer. I also wanted to mention too, we've got a couple resources to give away, some tips that come directly from James. So if you're interested in getting that resource, it's an exclusive resource that we're going to send to you. Just comment tips in the comment thread. Whether you're watching this now or later, comment tips, and Lauren or I will send it out. And with that, unless another question pops in, I think we'll call it good. James, Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
us.
Chris. Thanks for having us, and thanks everyone for in the pro community for watching and asking good questions. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.